Okay, it is 5:02 PM on Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. We will call the Board of Works and Safety meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Weigel.
Here.
Smith, absent. Daniel.
Here. In front of you are the minutes from our last meeting on June 25th. Were there any changes or corrections?
No, I did not see it.
I think I had one, Rosie, and that was, there was I think a misplaced comma that I sent to
Yeah.
you. But it was very, very, very small, so that's okay. So I'll make a motion, we approve the Board of Works minutes with the noted change.
Second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Okay. So are you here for the encroachment agreement?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna bump that up to get you out of here. So let's go ahead and go to the encroachment agreement for 275 West Longfellow Boulevard. And that is, I'll try to get you what page that's on. That's the starting page of
Back up or right over.
14, page 14. Oh, yeah, you got it, okay.
Yep.
So come on up and please introduce yourself, your name, the address, either company address and or the home address as well.
The address of where we're doing the variance?
Yep,
My name is Thad Kreider, with True Vinyl, and we're trying to put a fence over here at 275 West Longfellow Boulevard.
okay. And it looks like based on our visual here, it's gonna go basically from the side of the house out a little bit, then back to the back of the property, kind of,
To the
I'll say
back corner.
hexagonal-ish, right?
Yeah.
And then lump back around to the outline of the house
Yeah, it's a
effectively.
short run, it's a 4-foot tall aluminum
Okay.
fence that we're doing. As I'm looking through here, it looks like a lot of these easements go right up to the back corners of the houses in this area, so that's why we're here, just trying to get approval to make sure that can go in and it goes in the right place and goes in the right way.
Any issues with utilities back there? No. No. And I'm assuming you've called in locates and all that
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
stuff, so
every time.
I figured.
Yeah.
So, any questions, comments, concerns, Dan?
No, sir, I was just making sure we didn't have any utilities.
Yep.
That was all.
So the thing we always say is because it's a utility easement, if for some reason we do have to get in there, we will let people know ahead of time, let the homeowner know ahead of time. If it's an emergency, we will move it as easy, nicely as we can, and then it'll be at their expense to replace it, okay?
Yes, sir.
So,
Get that, yeah.
yep, okay, so we just make sure that's really clear to everybody.
Yeah.
So, anything else for the good of the board here? Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the encroachment agreement at 275 West Longfellow Boulevard as presented.
Second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It's unanimous of those present. So, Rosie, what's next? for
Okay, so
him?
this will get back to the planning commission. They'll have to go in and finish it.
Okay.
So we'll send to the planning-
Yeah, and I could probably go in there tomorrow morning. The question I did have is the homeowner has to go in there as well, in
Yeah.
front of the notary and sign, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. So, besides that, you're good to go.
Awesome, thanks,
Okay?
guys.
Yep, thank you very
Anybody?
much.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of the day.
You too.
Thank you. Okay, so we get back to the regular agenda here. Pay request number 1 for S&S directional boring. Mike Cook.
This is their first pay request, as it says here. This is for administrative work on the part of the project, and it's opposite quarter and material. They've got about 90,000, a little over $90,000 worth of pipe stored here at both sites.
Thank you.
So it'd be my recommendation that the board does accept this pay request for $101,819.70.
And just if you could, just give us a quick recap on the project of when we should see things moving and stuff, if you know.
It looks like it's seen some locates out on Jefferson. It's supposed to be the 1st of August is what I was told. So hopefully they would bump that up. While we're talking about that, I've also talked with R&L McCoy is down here doing the bridge on South Main Street. As long as the project that we're gonna have going on.
Yeah.
They're gonna be finishing probably about the same time that we're starting, so. But after talking to them, I don't think we're gonna be in the way, and I don't think they'll be in our way,
Okay.
so. I think
Well,
we'll be all
do-
right there.
I hate to ask this question. Do we anticipate any crossing of Main Street after it's been reopened? The project doesn't
As far
go
as ours?
across. Yes, the
No, we
project
bore-
does not go across
It'll bore under it and bore under the river.
So we won't have to close during that time frame, though? Okay, didn't think so.
Nope.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, sir.
I'll make a motion, we approve the contractor's application for payment with the project number 3427 in the amount of $101,819.70.
Second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor should be the usual sign. It is unanimous of those present. Okay. Next up is pay request number 17 for Donahue, also Mike Cook.
This is going to be for administrative work and looking over plans and details up to this point. Be my recommendation that the board accept pay request number 17, the amount of $3,568.
Okay. I'll make a motion, we approve the request for Donahue with the invoice number 14090-17 in the amount of $3,568.
Second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous of those present. Next up is pay request number 3 for Pulver Asphalt Paving for Westgate. Chip?
Yes, they are currently well behind schedule because of the weather and because of NIPSCO's relocation, but they are anticipating, I believe, next week, possibly starting to pour the curbs on Buddale and Lawrence. So this, I'd like that's my little update, sorry, but this pay request was for $200,096, $952.06. I'd like to get the approval to pay that.
Okay. This has been through the engineers, inspectors. Chip, this has been through the engineers?
Yes, it's been through everybody.
Okay, you have any questions?
No, sir.
I'll make a motion, we approve the pay request for Pulver Asphalt Paving with the DES number of 2301378 in the amount of $296,952.06.
Second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous of those present. Okay, next up is the engineering agreement for A&Z Engineering. This is for the Community Crossings Matching Grant Roadway Improvement Project. Marcia, I know you took a look at this. You sent your comments to Rosie, correct?
Correct.
Rosie, you sent your comments to A&Z
Yes,
for their
it's
approval?
corrected.
That's corrected, okay. Any questions, comments, concerns regarding this?
No, sir.
Kelly's not here today, but, so again, the point is, as you can see in that, what page is that? Page 18 of your packet there that has all the streets that go into the second page. We have a lot of paving. We're planning to apply for the Community Crossings Matching Grant for next year's paving schedule. There are 44 different segments of streets across the city. Our plan is to go after, it's I think a $2 million and change project value. So $1.5 million of that will come from Community Crossings if we are granted the money, with the other $500,000 coming from the city, from our street funds and some seeded funds. So, but this is specifically to do all the engineering of that, because some of those are easier than others. Yep. So I will make a motion, we approve the agreement with A&Z Engineering for the 2025 Community Crossings Matching Grant Roadway Improvement Project as presented.
Second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous of those present. Thank you. Let's see if there's anything else on there. It is. Okay. Okay. Next up is pay request number 3 with Schenkel Construction. Chip, this is also you, I believe.
Yes, this is for $57,356.25. This was for the holes for the pickleball
Yeah.
court.
I don't have it in my packet.
I was gonna say I didn't.
I don't have it here either. Oh,
I
wait.
have it.
I
can-
have it, sorry.
Okay.
It wasn't
I sent it to her
It
late.
wasn't in the packet. I didn't notice it when
Yeah,
I
but
looked
I
at the
went back
packet
in
yesterday,
and
but it's.
switched it, and it should be in there now.
You guys actually did something.
I gotta put it in.
Well, it was modified a day ago, but I didn't see it
Clear
in
at
the
the
packet,
very
so.
end of the packet.
The very end?
We're just approving paychecks.
No, the last thing I have is,
Well-
last thing I packed.
Okay, then.
Okay, well,
I didn't do
that's
it.
okay, we can look at it real quick.
Evidently.
And this is for Eagle Park?
Yes, correct. I'm trying, this is for pickleball, the base of the pickleball and,
Swing structure, or no?
No, this
No.
was just, I'm looking at sideways, I can't.
Gotcha. That's the waiver. Okay. You okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the pay request with Schenkel Construction in the amount of $57,356.25 for the Eagle Park project.
Second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Next up, mobile food truck permit fees. Rosie Coyle.
Okay, the only reason I put this in here is, I know we're discussing this at council,
Mhm.
was some changes that I kind of wanted to make, and one of them was, and Sally, I talked to her, but that they could have a choice of, rather than just doing it for every day that they want, that they could do an annual or a 6 months, because we currently have one that's doing it weekly.
That's the Wood
Yeah.
Farms, the local.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then some changes, because currently it says Whitley County with a storefront. We wanted it to say Columbia City with a storefront. And then non-Columbia City with no storefront, and non-Columbia City not included in an event. And we were wanting to know if we could change that, which will end up going with our permits.
So the three categories are Columbia City storefront, 0 fee, because they already have a storefront. Second category is really Columbia City or non-Columbia City, but they're a part of an event. That's also a 0 because they're a part of an event. And then the third category would be a non-Columbia City storefront, not included in an event.
Not storefront, non-Columbia City,
That's not included in an
yeah,
event.
that is not
Yes,
in an
right.
event.
And Rosie, I'm trying to pull it up right now, but does this match up with the current ordinance that's looking to be approved?
I believe so, and that's why I was
Okay.
gonna put this, it's in the council too.
Okay, I'm
So,
looking.
because I think if I remember right, the actual ordinance that allows the Board of Works to set the fee schedule, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I guess I have a question and maybe a follow-up question, which is, so if we approve a food truck permit for Holly's Hot Dogs to come in, and Holly's Hot Dogs is a non-Columbia City, non-event. So they're going to go in front of, you know, I guess my question is this: when they fill out that permit, they have to notify us, they have to tell us, and we have to approve where they're going to be and when they're going to be at those places, right? So this isn't a carte blanche like, hey, you have a year that, and you can go anywhere in the city, you're permitted to do that. No, you specifically have to say, here's the dates, here's where I'm going to be, and that has to be approved by your office, by the Board of Works, by who?
Well, it's part of this permit.
The permit.
It would be us.
Right, the Board of Works,
Downstairs.
oh, you guys, okay.
Yeah.
Because when Wood Farms came in, we had to approve their usage of the parking spaces.
Yeah, because that was a different issue,
Right.
parking spaces.
Right. But I guess I'm just, so I get the permit side of seeing, like, that they have their health permit, that they're going through the appropriate permitting process through your office, getting the certification in that regard. My question is more of the location and the timing of that, and I guess maybe my question is more toward Marcia in regards to the actual ordinance, because I don't remember what that says, but so that whole piece, the location and the date, is deferred to your office? Or is that deferred to the Board of Works for the decision as to where and when?
Well, they.
Because the permit is through your office, yes, but I'm just the where and when.
Unless it's something like, let's just say they wanted 3 of them out here in front of
Yeah.
the courthouse.
Yeah,
I guess as long as they fill out this permit, we've left them be there. Last year,
But that-
whatever that one was. They went
I thought
there.
that went in front of Board of Works though. Because I thought if they're
They came
blocking
in
parking
and just-
spaces.
Gary gave them permission after they got a permit.
Right, because I think it was short
Yeah, it was
notice
just
or
a
something.
day,
It was just-
like an afternoon for, morning for a couple hours.
The question is, who decides where they can be?
Well, yeah, I mean, if they're gonna be on a public street, if they're going to be blocking a public parking space, anything else comes to the Board of Works.
So under under the permit prerequisites, it says a scaled site plan showing the location of the proposed mobile food truck and the properties, drives, parking, access aisles, fire lane, sidewalks, and accessible routes.
That's a part of the permitting process.
But who approves it?
Well, that's what's submitted to get the permit.
But you understand, my question is that if someone's blocking a street, if someone's doing a construction project, if they're blocking parking spaces, all those things come in front of this body. And I don't, and I guess I just never thought through this a little bit, but I don't know that I feel super comfortable with this body not being the decider of where they're locating. I don't necessarily have let me say it this way. If a food vendor is coming into the city of Columbia City, they've gotten their permit through you and they're going to be on private property, there's no reason the Board of Works needs to see that, right? Because they've already agreed with the private property owner. The difference is if they're going to be on public infrastructure, blocking parking spaces, whatever the case is, I do feel like that needs to go in front of Board of Works, because everything else does.
And I agree.
Okay,
We've only had it, I think, once last year, and then the
yeah.
one to this
And then
year,
Wood Farms, it was this year, yeah.
which is why
Yeah.
we were wondering that we shouldn't have, like, they could get an annual one or a 6-month
Yeah.
one.
As long as they have dates and times laid out, and
Yeah.
if it's on public infrastructure, again, parking spaces, whatever, then that, and street closures, et cetera, I'm not trying to be difficult, I feel like those things need to come to the Board of Works, but for other places, I don't have a problem with doing annual or 6-month if it's on private property.
Yeah, we would just have to establish a fee, and then it says they have to comply with the city's ordinance, food truck ordinance.
I was thinking there was a last year, a year before, somebody said, hey, we're gonna have a couple, 3 food trucks come in just for the lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
They did it.
And they did it, and I'm like, how do yeah.
With the parking
yeah,
spaces
With
and
the
stuff,
parking
yeah.
spaces, I'm like, well, how
Yeah.
did that happen with,
Yeah.
people getting upset with taking up parking spaces?
Yeah, I know.
Um,
So I don't know how that's addressed in the actual ordinance, Marcia. I guess I should have thought through that a little bit from a logistical matter. I figured since that's kind of what we do, that's.
Well, there's a lot of, you can't do these things, so if they came in to do it,
It would be, so if they were to park on a driveway, I'm sorry, not a driveway, if they were to park in a public parking space on a public road, let's say on Van Buren Street, on Chauncey Street, on whatever, if they were to do that, they would have to get a special, basically a special approval by the Board of Works to locate in that position. Is that what?
well, I guess my question is, do they need Board of Works approval to park on any public area? Is that what you're requesting?
I mean, I think the answer should be yes, because everybody else we make do that.
Well, then I could probably cut down this ordinance a lot, because I could just say, any use of public property must go before the Board of Works. And then the Board of Works just has its own
Yeah.
criteria.
And I almost see that as being separate from the permit, right? I mean, it has to be conjoined, because there's no reason to get a permit if you're not gonna have a place to locate that food truck at. So they have to be conjoined in that way. But the problem is you can come in and get a food truck and be on a public or a private piece of property, and we don't care where you locate, as long as you have the agreement from that private property owner. But once you go onto public property, and you're now taking away parking spaces or whatever the case is, that does become our problem. Because we'll have, again, if a coffee truck wants to pull up in front of Bruja, and maybe not right in front, maybe right down the road, I think that's something the Board of Works should have to say in.
I agree.
Okay.
Well, what about non-food?
Well,
Well, shouldn't it apply to them?
if it's on public property, I think it should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Because that's happened before too, and they just pop up places
Yep.
and
yep.
no permit.
So,
Okay, then
Yeah.
I would just table,
table this conversation?
no, well, I don't know that we need to table this one, because
Yeah.
I think I can conform, but I'd table the ordinance
At
for
council?
tonight, because I think I can slim that puppy
Okay.
down.
Okay. Well, and again, I will take full blame, because it didn't really occur to me, because I guess I just expected that was gonna happen, but if it's not outlined, we need to outline it. in
Well, there's a
ordinance,
lot
so.
in here saying,
Yes.
well, you can't do this, you can't do
Yes.
this, and you can't do this, but it would be so much simpler if they just had to come here and the Board of Works said, sorry,
Yeah,
or yes.
yeah,
And then it makes it so much easier.
yeah. So you have,
And all I had to put in the ordinance is criteria that the Board of Works may consider
yes.
are these things.
Yes.
And just remove all this stuff.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Then I would, if you don't mind, just table that tonight.
Okay, yeah, and I
And
do
the
that,
other reason
Council.
I brought this up is because when I was talking to Sally, I said, well, this needs to be
Part and parcel,
when
basically.
we put it in,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And she said, well, yeah, but these need changed, and
Yeah.
should we have a fee for
Right.
annual or 6 months?
because I think, do we outline that in the ordinance, that there's an annual fee or a 6-month fee or a, I feel like we've had that conversation, but maybe
Believe so.
not.
Yeah.
All this says.
Yeah, because the fees
it's
we
$50.
changed.
Defer to the board, right?
Yeah, and all this has to be approved by the board, that's why I thought we better get this done and then take it to the
Sure.
council.
Sure.
Okay.
Again, so, let me just restate one more time. I'm very much in favor of having an annual or a 6-month fee. Very much in favor of having 3 fee schedules, if you will. One for city storefront owners, one for non-city event people, and one for non-city, non-event people. So I kind of see it as a funnel, right? Food truck, it goes into those 3 categories. And then from there, whether it's public, on public infrastructure or a private property, goes from there, right?
Mhm.
So I think it makes a difference, but that's kind of how it's visualized in my brain as the organizational chart, if you will.
Yeah, I just
So-
want it done right this time.
I agree. Well, and it hasn't been updated
Got
since
everything
2020.
covered.
That's
Yeah.
been updated since January 2020, and a few things have changed since then, so.
Yeah, okay,
So, okay, well, thanks for the discussion, I just,
sorry.
no, you don't need to apologize, I think it's just, but I think it's good that we flush that out, because
Yeah.
it makes a difference when we talk about the actual ordinance, and how that applies with the council, you know, because again, I would hate for your office to be the one taking in the permit, and to say yes for public infrastructure, and then there's something else happening downtown, and people say, well, where's all the parking going? And, I mean, your office takes that heat.
Yeah.
And we should take that heat, so, anyways. Okay,
Sounds good.
thank you, Rosie, appreciate the conversation, thanks, Marcia, for your work on that. Okay, sorry for the diversion, everybody there. Let's go to the street closing for 4-H Fair. This is for the 4-H Fair Parade, which is happening next Tuesday, a week from today, from 6 to 6:30 PM. I see a couple of signatures.
I didn't get, the fire department, because it wasn't here at the time.
Gotcha.
I don't remember, it's been.
You okay with the 4-H Parade?
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Chip, I didn't see your signature on there either, so hopefully you're
I
okay.
just, nobody.
Okay.
He was gone too, so.
Okay, and Gary, you guys are all good with that? I know you guys usually put out no parking signs and do the
Put
whole
no
shebang.
parking signs out the whole week of 4-H.
Oh, you do the whole week, okay.
And then the parade, we usually block off each intersection, so they just basically go around the 4-H. They talked about this being the 100th year,
Okay,
so they were talking about, like the old days, they used to come down and go around the courthouse and all that, and I'm like, ooh.
that's a lot.
Right.
That's a lot, yeah.
So I'm glad they kept it the way the way it is now, as they've done over the last several years.
Which is enter onto Park Street, go down to Squawbuck, come down Squawbuck, back down Lincoln Way
Yep,
to the.
and back in.
And back in, okay,
Which is pretty easy, and it's pretty quick.
yep. I think I've judged 1 or 2 of those at this point, so. I'll make a motion, we approve the street closing permit for the Whitley County 4-H Fair Parade as presented.
Second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Thank you. Okay, we'll go to bills.
Yeah. This is my first time looking at this.
Well, I got it if you want me to
Okay,
handle it.
that's
It's up to
okay.
you. I mean, it's fine, whatever. I just, let's see, what's that?
She always has them nicely written out
Yes.
and everything. I've looked at them.
Is FRX checks? Signature block, FRX. That's the only thing I don't know. I know the numbers, but I don't know. Lisa does all this most of the time,
Yeah.
so. The first group, what's the first?
Oh,
group?
those are EFTs,
No, the very first group.
This?
Yeah, what's that one? Is that checks?
Yeah, these are
Okay.
all checks.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated the July 9th, 2024, in the amount of $1,049,452.03 for checks.
Second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Next up, if I can get there, I'll make a motion, we pay the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated July 9th, 2024, in the amount of $811,104.16 for EFT. Is that correct?
Correct, however, that is changed.
Oh, that's not right.
Because, I talked to Chip a little bit today, we pulled, Leslie.
The Westlers out. Oh, do you have a new number? Okay, so I will amend my motion
Sorry.
to make that number $769,353.94.
Second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Let's see. Next up is the, what, is this third quarter clothing allowance? Second quarter clothing allowance. I'll make a motion, we approve the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated July, I don't know which date, so I'm gonna say July 3rd, 2024, in the amount of $12,375 for the second quarter clothing allowance.
Second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous of those present. Finally, I think we have one more, which is, Lisa, we need you. I'll make a motion, we pay the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated 7/3/2024 in the amount of all pay types except overtime of $288,285.36, plus overtime only in the amount of $14,818.94, in a total amount of $303,104.30 for payroll.
Second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous of those present. Department head reports. Chip.
Eagle Park took a break for a little bit. It's gonna start back up. They got the surface put in for the pickleball courts, and so that's gotta sit for 30 days before they can seal it. Westgate is moving forward. Everything has been relocated, so now the contractor can get in and get their work done. We did get good news. I don't know if I reported it, but the NDOT is moving ahead with the trail to the high school, so Blue River Trail. So hopefully that'll be going out for bid very soon, and I think that's it.
Questions of Chip? Thank you. Sean?
So we continue on the Jefferson Street, Rolling Hills Avenue project. There was crews in the area hand digging, getting ready to bore. Should be boring behind Rolling Hills and Park Terrace in that easement this week. So excited to get that in. We did have some SCADA issues last week. Found out that we had issued, well, not we, our engineers had issued a wrong IP address to some of the equipment that was on the fiber, so it was conflicting with other equipment, so we got that taken care of. And today we had two individuals offer, or accept offers of employment, so we will have two more coming on board.
Oh, good.
So excited to be back to full staff.
That's good. Locals?
One of them is local, actually coming from the water department, so thank you.
Sorry, Mike.
So the other one is actually living in Texas currently,
Oh, wow.
but his family is all from around here, so he's looking to get back closer to home.
Gotcha. Cool. Questions of Sean? Thank you. Thomas?
The driver operator class went through its written test and practicals, so that's good to conclude that thing. 102, the wiring issue still has not refilled itself again, so hopefully that was just a glitch in its computer system and it is going forever. Probably not. City fireworks this year brought up some things that upon the mayor and I talking, as the Connie Dyke property builds, we're probably gonna have to start looking at measurements to make sure we have proper fallouts for the permit. Again, a reminder to everybody, 4-H is next week. Chris and I have a meeting with Marshall later on in the month to discuss some fire code issues. Some of our ordinances may need to be revised. We'll just have to discuss that with her. Our new guy is, when we hired him, we knew he was extremely green. He has his certs, but.
He's green.
Yeah, he's green, and we knew that going into it. It's just gonna take a little bit more time to build his confidence level and so that we feel comfortable leaving him as one of the shift personnel. I have 2 guys that are gonna be probably out due to surgery here real soon. One of them goes in for surgery the 15th. So, that's difficult. Oh, and to my fellow department heads, as the park department has realized, our AEDs are starting to age. If they start beeping, please let us know. The batteries in those have probably hit the end of their lifespans, so they're probably gonna have to be changed out. I'm guessing that because they were all purchased at the same time, that all the batteries will die about the same time. We're gonna go ahead and get those batteries in order, and as we get them in, we will replace them. So bear with us through this process. I think that's it.
Questions on Tom? Thank you. Matt?
The new picnic tables are a big hit. Everybody stays down around the concession stand now during tournaments, so they go get something and they
Nice.
eat there. They were very helpful around the 4th of July too. We had a family that basically commandeered one of them, and that was their place
That
for
was
the
their
whole night.
place.
Yeah. We had a good turnout with fireworks again, even though it did rain for a brief time. I want to thank Street Department for coming over, helping us figure out the cause of a sinkhole like 2 days before. Then also like to thank the Water Department for fixing the field tile that was the cause of the sinkhole. They got it done really fast. That allowed us to go ahead and have the whole parking lot open for the 4th. And last but not least, the Electric Department for getting all of our power needs ready for the 4th and fixing the electric line that fed the whole baseball area so we could keep our refrigeration units going. So, and we cleaned up from the 4th. We're getting ready for JFL. We do have some soccer tryouts going on, and the end of July we'll have the what is it, the film and float
Yep, film and float at
on
the
the 27th.
part of Summer in the City.
Yep.
JFL registration happened or happening or what?
It's happening.
Okay.
It's almost to a close.
Okay.
Um,
When does that close, this Friday then, or?
but I think it closes like soon,
Okay.
like today.
Okay,
And then, because Melinda is getting the equipment, she just sent out the equipment day
Okay.
that they could come. She's been working with the high school coach, Coach Fox, to get that, because he comes over with his boys and they help fit
Yep.
all the little guys that come in. And she's going to be out at the 4-H fair, so we're going to get all that ready for her. So when she comes back, she can just have everybody try stuff on.
okay. Not to put you on the spot, but did you guys utilize Rave to let people know about stuff?
We have for the pool.
For the pool?
With the JFL, I'm not 100% sure. I know we went through the normal Facebook and that.
Okay.
But I don't know, I don't think we went through Rave on the JFL.
Okay. Let's keep trying to use that. Thanks, Matt.
Okay.
Appreciate the question, Matt. Thank you. Mike?
The second filter should be done tomorrow and chlorinated. They said rain, no matter how bad it rained, they were putting the last in tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And then, I didn't get to talk to the guys at the tower. They didn't show up today, probably because of the weather, or when I got up there, they were gone. And I also need permission to hire a new employee.
To replace the one who's leaving your department to go to a different department. I'm fine with him backfilling. You good? Okay. You have permission.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Good? Gary?
All right, quick update on our two new hires. Chuck Melton, he went down to Public Safety Medical and has completed his whole process there. We're just waiting to hear back from them. Austin Sturgis is going to be cleared from his doctor from his collarbone injury on August 12th, and his appointment is set up for August 13th, so
Oh, wow. So you better be cleared.
we're right. We're getting it turned around quick. We did extend our application process. We currently have 16 applications, and we're going to take applications up until testing time, which is August 3rd.
For police?
Correct.
Okay.
And then for communications, we have 14 applications, and we've extended that due to Matt's retirement, and the deadline for that is July 22nd. So, I mean, we're getting some apps in, but not as fast as we thought we were, but usually a lot of times they come in the last week or so.
Gary, just for public information, what is kind of some of the minimum requirements for becoming a police officer?
Well, you
Or
got-
applying at least?
Well, you got to do a physical agility and a written test, and then that gets you moved on to an interview process, a formal interview, informal interview, chief's interview, and then a Board of Works interview for police. For dispatches, there's a testing you got to do. It's not, you don't have to know any kind of thing. It's just basically a general knowledge. You hear like a video, and then you answer questions.
Yep.
So it's kind of like somebody calling in, and so.
Are there age restrictions on either of those?
On police officers, there is.
Okay.
21 to 40.
Okay?
And then.
And that is set by PERF, not by us?
Correct.
To be clear.
It's the state perf, yep. And then for communications, it's 18.
And then if you give off a contingent employment,
What's that?
you got the minimum.
Oh, yeah.
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 Then there's some more testing
Oh, yeah.
after a conditional offer of employment. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Cool. Thank
Which
you.
is, it's a long process, but it's a rewarding career, I think, and, once you get there, it's
Yep.
good. First Friday in Farmers Market, we're a success and had very little issues. We installed the no parking signs on Spencer Street, and Deputy Chief and I went and spoke to all the residents. We had one that was a little concerned, but we were able to work through that, and I
Okay.
think he's
Thank you.
fine. Looking at buying Explorers instead of Durangos due to the Indiana State Police having all the issues with their Durangos. Not sure if you guys are aware of that. They're having a lot of
Yeah,
motor
I don't know
issues.
that Dan knows that. Will you kind of talk to that for a moment?
Yeah, the Durangos right now are having oil overheating issues, and it's pumping oil back through like the coolant, so it's blowing the motors. And Indiana State Police, I think they're like 40%, having troubles with 40% of their vehicles per one of their media reports.
And this is on the new model of Durangos, not
Correct.
the ones we have, I don't
Correct.
think, is it?
Well, some of them could be ours.
Could be ours, okay.
We, knock on wood, we haven't had
I was gonna
any,
say, I shouldn't even have brought it up.
we haven't had any issues with
Yeah.
ours,
I
so.
did read about that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're looking, at least for this fleet year, looking at
Explorers.
Explorers rather than Durangos for
Right.
that purpose.
Right. And the Explorers are about $400 to $700 more, but in the long term, I think we have no issues with them. It's gonna pay off.
Was that 400 to 700 or 4,700?
No, $400 to $700.
Okay, thank you. Okay, just make sure. Okay.
4,700 might be a,
That may be a little more of a stretch.
right,
Although if you're buying a, $10,000 motor or whatever it is, I
Right.
don't know what it is, so.
right. And most of them's under warranty, but still, there's
Yeah.
downtime,
Yeah.
you're not providing the service to the community, and
Yep.
they're in spare vehicles, it's a hassle.
Yeah.
So I guess I'd like to put in a bid with City Ford for the permission to buy 2 vehicles from them.
No problem with that. I think you gotta go get 2 quotes on that, though.
Yeah, well, I got quotes from them and Durango, so I can submit them, I guess.
Yeah, but I think you gotta have 2 different dealers, right?
I got like 3 different dealers.
Oh, okay, okay, I'm sorry. I heard you say City Ford, so I wasn't sure. Are you getting
Well, that's
quotes
what-
from them, or are
yeah.
you asking to go with City Ford?
I'm asking to go with City Ford.
Go with City Ford, okay. So, do you have those quotes?
I do, down on my desk.
Okay. While we go through, will you go get those so that we
Yeah.
can look at that? We'd like to see this.
All
So,
right, sounds good.
No, you're fine.
firearms qualifications this week.
Okay.
And then Officer Ansball and Officer Leatherman completed the Indiana School Resource Officers Convention and are ready for the next school year.
Questions, Gary? Thank you. We'll wait for you to get those things. And go from there. Mike?
The material's been ordered for our break room remodel. Phase 3 of the skated projects on the lift stations. The cabinet bases are going in for Armstrong and Eagleport. So hopefully we'll get those done before the end of the year. Before material is always a delay, so we're still waiting on panels to come in, but hopefully they show up. We're going to finalize the 600 East project at the lift station as far as bypass pumping and things like that when they put that new base in. That should be sometime this week. And other than that, that's just the day-to-day.
Okay. Questions of Mike? Thank you, Mike. Marcia?
The ordinance can be back on. I have that in the ordinance.
Oh, it is in there. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought something in me said that it was, but I
Yeah,
just, okay.
I've got it in there. You can put, if I don't need to.
Awesome. Very good. Thank you. Rosie?
Nothing.
You sure?
Yeah, nothing. No.
Okay. A couple things for your information. Of course, we're now in the middle, as you are well aware, we're in the middle of budget time now, budget meetings. So meeting with everyone regarding the budgets and kind of going through that. I know that Chip and his community engagement specialist Bill are working on test kitchen stuff. So
Shared kitchen.
I'm sorry. That's going to be a hard habit to break.
I know.
Shared.
I agree.
I've only said it for 3 years now. So shared kitchen, and Marcia's working on some of the legal part of that, which is good. Tomorrow, just so you're aware, I do have the current jail building. We're doing an inspection with a firm that I've asked to kind of walk through with us, as well as some other individuals from the county to walk through the jail. You guys come in and sit down. We're almost done with this meeting. To kind of go through the jail, walk through, do some things like that. Just take a look at it, see what kind of condition it is, and see if it's something that maybe the redevelopment commission or the city would like to maybe acquire. So that's kind of on the potential horizon. We'll see. So after that, I'm going to be gone for about a day and a half for some AIM city and town stuff down south. Let's see. We have the employee appreciation luncheon on Monday, so we're actually turning that into a week, as I've mentioned in previous meetings. So we appreciate our employees here at the city, and going to be showing that appreciation throughout. We're doing burgers this year. No dogs this year, just burgers. So yeah, we can both singe the hair off our hands again this year. Yes. So we are continuing to have conversations, obviously, regarding the Dye property and where that's going. Next week I have a meeting. There's a big hoopla about US 30 over in Warsaw that we're inviting legislators and making sure there's good support for that project potentially. And then I have lunch with the mayor, virtual thing on the 19th of July. I thought he was. So that's kind of where we're at. A lot of things happening. 4-H Fair again is next week, so we have a lot of things that we're watching out there. So if you want to bring that up, go ahead.
Oh,
Or talk through that a little bit.
yeah, I was kind of a little confused on how to answer this person's question out there off Emancipation Court. Somebody decided, the property owner that has an easement, ingress-egress easement, across the association's property, started chipping away at a curb. And it's about 10, I went out there and looked at it at noon, and it's about 10 feet long. It looks like somebody, I don't know, just took a chisel to it. The property owners are concerned about that. How is it gonna get fixed, or to make it look like it normally does? Who pays for that? And what is the process? I said, well, normally if there's a curb cut, it comes before the works.
Yep. If they're digging an infrastructure that is city infrastructure in the right of way, they have to come in front of the Board of Works prior to construction.
Right, and it looks like they just chiseled part of it, and I'm like, well, they didn't come to us, or I haven't seen anything.
No.
So now who repairs it?
Yeah.
Who's responsible for what?
Yeah, so, so we'll need to make sure Marcia is involved in this conversation, but, so Kelly, our street superintendent, had brought this to my attention, because I think the homeowners association, or at least a neighbor in that area, had brought it to his attention.
Right.
So I think there's a couple of things in work, right, in process here. First is you have, excuse me, you have a private property owner who is doing work officially without the approval of the private property owner and the right-of-way, which is ours, right?
Right.
We're the right-of-way owner, private property owner is the homeowners association. So you have a dual issue there. The property owner that did the work on that property, obviously, that shouldn't have happened before going in front of us. So I would say the person who did the work would be liable to repair it and replace it to where it was. If there is a discussion about what to do with it, I think that's where there needs to be a discussion among the parties. If it, again, we can be the hammer, right? That comes in and says, hey, listen, you guys gotta fix this. Or the person who broke it has to fix it, right? But it's almost, depending on what the agreement between the private property owner and the homeowners association is, I don't know what their agreement is,
Well,
but at the end of the day, that could be a trespassing issue as
Yeah,
well.
the curb's in our right of way though.
Yes,
And so it's not really on their property.
That's true.
And it's on the right of way
Yeah.
of the city. And I'm like, okay, and I guess part of me says the guy wants to make sure it's fixed appropriately.
Yeah.
I'm like, who does that?
well, I mean, it'd have to be put back to city standards,
Right.
which would be through Kelly's office, obviously.
Okay.
But anything in the right of way, anything that's done to public infrastructure, which would be street, curb, sidewalk, things like that, potentially sidewalk, is that there's a permitting process, that there's a fee involved. It goes through her office, it gets approved by Kelly ahead of time. And so all of that should have happened. Now that it's retroactive, the person who dug it up needs to come to the Rosie's office and do the proper filing of the permit. If that doesn't happen, then I'm assuming there's legal recourse in some way, shape, or form we can take on that.
Well, it's damaging city
City infrastructure.
infrastructure.
So that would be my short answer, were to say, if they want to do something with the curb and get a curb cut, they need to come through the clerk's office to do the appropriate process. But if they're not going to do it, then we need to figure out, thank you, we need to figure out what the appropriate steps are to recoup that.
Right, well, that's what I was believing to be, but I
Yes.
wanted to get confirmation of that before I called this property owner back and say, hey, it's not really, yes, this guy's fault to
Yes.
destroyed the property.
Yes, well, and again, it wasn't the appropriate process, it should have gone through the appropriate process.
Right.
So, happy to talk more about that, but I think, to me, that's the first check, so.
I might stop back out there after I get out of here tonight.
Okay, yep,
Let him know that it's gonna be this guy's responsibility
it
to
is,
repair it to the
yes. And if,
standards that we.
and if Rosie's office needs to send a letter to that private property owner to say, we've been told this, or whatever, then,
Yeah, I just need some information on who it is, where it is,
Okay,
address.
she can send the letter out and stuff.
okay,
So.
all right, thank you.
Okay, to finish up here, we'll go back to the police quotes that are in front of us, Gary. These are for this for 2 interceptors or 1?
2.
2, okay.
So you got, I believe, Daniel at the top, and Thomas Dodge, those are for the Durangos. You can see the prices there, and then City Ford is $43,722, and then Curlin Ford for the same vehicles, $50,000 plus, so City's the better deal there. for sure.
Gotcha. So, yeah, so the top 4 are all the Durangos that we want to kind of steer clear of right now.
Right.
The bottom 2 are the Ford Interceptors, and that's a 1-to-1. I mean, it's the same thing, it's just quoting 2 different companies, so.
Yep,
I'm sorry?
correct.
Yeah. Okay. Are you good with that?
I agree, going with City Ford.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve 2 Ford, 2025 Ford Interceptor SUVs, the V6s from City Ford.
Second.
Motion seconded for,
I'm not-
I'm sorry, each are in the amount of $43,722. And I'm assuming,
22,
I'm sorry,
722.
43,722.
Okay.
And I'm assuming that after we get those, then we send them out to get equipped into being the true police,
Correct.
equipment outfitting.
Yep,
Okay.
and decal.
Yep, all those in favor should with the usual sign. It is unanimous of those present. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for doing this. So, okay, we have no press. Anybody from the audience? Any comments from the audience? Okay, then we will call the meeting adjourned. Thank you.